Last group of topics on the table. Here we go.
High-speed sports wire. We got auto racing, soccer, and tennis.
Yeah, let's just start. First picture there. That is Max Verstappen. You can't go to cover a Formula One race without there being something with controversy. And the something with controversy always involves him, Team Red Bull. So they're running the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. Great event, historically great event. Max Verstappen wins it. Red Bull jumped to the lead very early. The storyline was what happened in his rear view mirror. The other team, which has had a great season, led by Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, they're running 2-3 trying to chase Verstappen down. Well, they go to pit stops. These are all slotted times when they're going to pit. Piastri goes in. They do a pit stop in 1.9 seconds.
That's unbelievable.
Change tires and in and out. So he is on the tail of chasing Verstappen. Norris comes in the next lap for his pit stop with the same McLaren team. They screw it up. He was in the pits for 5 seconds, which is fatal. So he comes flying out. So you got Verstappen running away, Piastri trying to make up time on fresh tires. Here comes Norris trying to make up time. The Team McLaren pit crew gets on the headset and tells Piastri, pull over and let Lando Norris pass, because they're trying to build points to win the points championship. Might not win the race. So Piastri says, I'm running in second place. You want me to step aside, let my guy go by? So he did.
Okay.
Anyhow, the post-race press conference was unbelievable. And of course, Verstappen, there's not a topic in the world that he can't express an opinion on. So he's on the podium doing the post-race interview, and he's talking about why the hell would McLaren order Piastri to give up points and let Lando Norris? And they blew him away anyhow. He wound up with a 19-second victory, which is unheard of in F1. But you can't go anywhere in F1 without Verstappen having an opinion on this topic, that topic, and topics you wouldn't think he'd talk about. Second topic is Christian Pulisic and Team USA. Woo, this didn't go like they thought it was going to go. So Team USA plays a friendly with Mauricio Pochettino now has his entire roster there, all the European veterans, all the kids that played in the Gold Cup, and they lost 2-0 to South Korea. Now, the forwards played really well, had 4 scoring chances, just did not convert. Had a lot of problems on the back end with their fullbacks, breakdowns, goaltender left standing naked. They wound up losing 2-0 to South Korea. But at the end of the day, Pochettino just stood up at the press conference and said, this team played well together. This team will get better together, and results will arrive. Just bear with us. Soccer community is going crazy. Same old, the end result. But the coach is optimistic that this group will play better and better, and they actually played pretty well offensively. Third one is U.S. Open tennis. It was what a performance. Carlos Alcaraz just powered his way to win. Just blew out Jannik Sinner. 4 sets, totally dominated. 42 winners. It's like you playing your wife in tennis and she just smoked you. He had 42 winning shots. He ran them all over the place. He's beaten them 7 of the last 8 times they've played, and these 2 guys are obviously now the best 2 globally on the men's side. It was a pretty good U.S. Open. Djokovic got into the semifinals, and he got wiped out despite as hard as he played, but at age 37, 38. But Alcaraz has just arrived as the next superstar on the tennis circuit. So ask a question of Max Verstappen. I'm sure he'll tell you something you don't want to hear, but go ahead, pick a topic.
Well,
here.
Just those 3 guys. I mean, those are 3 dudes right there,
Yep.
and, it's just the whole soccer thing. I mean, losing to South Korea. I mean, there's some trouble with the U.S. and South Korea these days in the news. So maybe a rivalry is forming. But I'll say this, the U.S. Open is one of the greatest tennis tournaments, and one time, and this is like, I don't know, 30 years ago, I was doing business in New York, and we got to we said, we got to go to a Mets game, and we went to Shea, but we got there early, because our business wrapped up sooner. So we walked across the parking lot, and that's where the U.S. Open
used to be.
Yeah.
Yep. And Flushing Meadow.
And then we went in and we were able to kind of climb into the structure to get to the top. We couldn't get into the seating area, but from the very top, it was like so steep, you know, going down to this little tennis court right at the very bottom. And I was like, oh, it's pretty cool. But it's always been a great tournament. I mean, I always think about that one year. It was Jimmy Connors came alive, and it was like a Saturday night in New York, and everyone was partying. Yeah. So what a fun tournament.
Did you hear about what happened on the eve of the finals? USTA informed the TV networks you're not to televise anything as it relates to Trump's appearance.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
And ESPN turned around and in essence did. So when Trump was introduced before the beginning of the match, and he got some, and he got booed too.
Yeah, it was a big mix.
Yeah, big mix.
Yeah,
they stayed on it, and then at the end of the first set, after Alcaraz looked like he was pulling away, they showed Trump again on the screen. He got booed again. So how did the USTA even create that incident? ESPN says we're broadcasting tennis, but if that's what you're showing, we're going to broadcast that too.
Yeah, I mean, it's freedom of the press, right? So you should cover it. And, you know, anytime, that's one of the fun things in sports is when the camera goes into the audience and then you'll see celebrities, right? And sometimes they're wearing the gear. And here it's Trump wearing his typical Trump outfit. But why not? You know, just if we're any other president, the camera would be on him too.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah. We don't want to televise it if anybody boos him.
So what?
So what? That's right. Yeah. Exactly. But I'll say that they made no reference after that. And I was surprised because who was doing the color analyst work? Speaking of having opinions on everything, John McEnroe. Yeah. Johnny Mac, he'd have an opinion on everything. I love his work. I don't always agree with what he says, but I love his work on tennis.
Yeah, he's good. Wasn't he married to the singer from the band The Motels, I think, from back in the 80s? And then he was also with another actress he was married to. Wasn't it Brooke Shields?
Yes.
No, that was Agassi. No, I'm getting them all confused. But McEnroe's cool. Like about 20 years ago, over at the Rancho Bernardo Inn here, they had it was kind of like a celebrity tennis tournament. And they set up these temporary stands right up here in Rancho Bernardo. And they had Connors and they had Nastasi was there. And it was kind of neat. It was like some of those stars from the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah. He was a personality unto himself. He was a fine player. I think he's become a bigger mega media star than he was as a tennis star. And he was a great tennis player.
Are you serious?
That's right.
The guy is great. Yeah. And he was doing all the shtick when we saw him in Rancho Bernardo. So yeah, McEnroe is fantastic. I saw a picture of him standing. It was a couple of, Yvonne Lendl was in a picture with him and one other guy. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Jimmy Connors. And McEnroe still has this youth vibe. He still emits young energy, even though he's like a white-haired guy.
That's called being loudmouth New York.
Yeah, I think so. You? Yeah.
Me too.
You're a Long Islander.
Okay. Those are hot topics on the table. We hope you enjoy the way we're doing this because we do sports talk the way it should be done.